upper extremities, carried through the venules, veins, and then the blood brings to superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, so that blood is entered into the right auricle. Means from the lower extremities and from the upper extremities, the impure blood is taken to the right auricle. So from the right auricle, means this right auricle opens into right ventricle by means of an aperture. This aperture is called right auriculoventricular aperture. Right auricle opens to right ventricle by means of a hole, by means of an aperture, and that aperture is called right auriculoventricular aperture, which is guarded by a valve, that is tricuspid valve. That is guarded by a valve, that is a tricuspid valve, which prevents the flow of blood in backward direction, only allows the flow of blood in forward direction, that is from right auricle to right ventricle, not from right ventricle to right auricle back. Only the forward flow is allowed by the valve, that is tricuspid valve. And from the right ventricle, there arises an artery, that is pulmonary artery. And this pulmonary artery, after its emergence from the heart, divides into two branches. One is left pulmonary artery, another one is right pulmonary artery. These two opens into respective lungs. Means from the right ventricle, blood pumps into the pulmonary artery and that carries the blood to the lungs. So impure blood enters into the lungs, where purification or oxygenation of blood takes place. Purification or oxygenation of blood occurs. So from the lungs, the blood is taken by pulmonary veins, that pure blood. Means from each lung, two pulmonary veins, these two and these two, they have shown here. They open into left auricle. They open into left auricle. So pure blood from the lungs is taken to the left auricle. So left auricle opens into left ventricle. From the left ventricle arises the largest artery of the body. This largest artery of the body is called aorta. This largest artery of the body is called aorta. So the opening means the blood from the left auricle pumps into the left ventricle through an aperture called left auriculoventricular aperture, and this left auriculoventricular aperture is provided with a valve that is called bicuspid valve. That is also having the same function as that of tricuspid valve, which prevents the backward flow of blood and only allows forward flow of blood. And from the left ventricle, blood is pumped into the aorta. The aorta and the pulmonary arteries are having three semilunar valves at its opening. Those semilunar valves are also having the function to prevent backward flow of blood, only allows the forward flow. In the sense, from right ventricle to pulmonary artery, from left ventricle to aorta, the blood will flows, not back to the ventricles and not back to the ventricles. So from the left ventricle, blood flows into the aorta. Aorta, after its emergence from the heart, it gives rise to two branches, and these two branches are called coronary arteries. coronary arteries supplies the blood to the wall of the heart for its normal function. That we're going to understand later, how they are going to supply the blood circulation in physiology to the wall of the heart. So these two arteries, one is left coronary artery, another one is right coronary artery, on left wall of the heart and right wall of the heart. They supply the blood to the wall of the heart for their normal function. And then the aorta bends backward and runs downward the heart and descends as descending artery. This one descends as a descending artery throughout the body in the form of different arteries. For example, like to the kidney, it will use renal artery. To the liver, it use hepatic artery. To the lungs, pulmonary artery. To stomach, gastric artery. To intestine, intestinal artery, like that. To supply the blood to throughout the body, all over the body, it descends downwards and produces many branches as descending aorta, so that the blood will be distributed throughout the body. And as you know, in case of the normal person, in a normal body, heart pumps and supplies the blood to all parts of the body. In a lifespan of 70 years, heart beats for about 2500 million times. 70 ವರ್ಷ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಬದುಕಿದ್ದ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 2500 ಮಿಲಿಯನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಬೀಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ, up to the age of 70. And pumping of blood, pumping about 9 pints of blood every minute. ಪ್ರತಿ ನಿಮಿಷಕ್ಕೆ 9 ಪಿಂಟ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪಂಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಹಾರ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಟ್ ಪಿಂಟ್? 9 pints of blood for every minute. 1 pint of blood is approximately equal to 0.473 liters. 1 pint of blood is approximately equal to 0.473 liters. And for 1 minute, 9 pints of blood. 9 pints of blood in the sense, it is about 4.257 liters of blood is pumped. So that you can calculate for 1 hour, and you can calculate for 24 hours, then for 1 year, then for 50, 60, like that. How many liters of blood is pumped? And you came to know the ability or activity of the heart, capacity of the heart action, how much it works, starts from birth, ends up to the death. I think you will understand the entire structure of the heart. In the next class, we will going to discuss the comparative anatomy of heart by taking 2 examples, or by taking all the 5 examples of vertebrates. Thank you.